My name is Dale Porcher, and from the candy shop, this is Linton, the Swarm Vassel, Bellator superstar MMA fighter. And we were just at lunch today, and I did not even know this, but Linton comes from a kickboxing background. I assumed, because he's a great grappler, he trains at the same place that I do, and he has ball pythons. So that's kind of how we get this. We're going to do a ball python. Tell them about your ball pythons.
So I have two ball pythons. One of the ball pythons I brought from Dale himself. I didn't actually buy it. He generously gave me a ball python, a caramel. That's right.
Caramel albino, yeah. So
caramel albino.
And I was very upfront with him about this. The reason I gave it to him, I am a nice guy, but I gave it to him because I bred her 2 seasons, and unbeknownst to me, when I first started the Caramel Project, they notoriously have bad reproductive issues, and I told him she laid slugs 1 year.
Yeah.
The second year she laid 9 slugs and 1 boob egg, but did not make it to term. So at that point, to me, she was a pet. So he wanted her as a pet. She's a nice looking pet. And he's also got, I think, a lemon blast, right?
Yeah, lemon blast.
That you bought from the jungle, I believe.
Yeah, the jungle, Florida.
Right. So what we were going to talk about real quick. I want to talk about. So you've been in MMA for how long?
15 years now.
15 years.
Yeah.
And he's one of the few that actually makes a living at it. He's fought for the title 2 times in Bellator, right?
Yeah.
And who'd you fight?
Emmanuel Newton for
Right.
the first time, and then Ryan Bader the second.
Okay, Ryan Bader. So he came up short, but I remember you fought Emmanuel Newton a second time when it wasn't for a title.
Yes.
And the second time you fought him, you finished him, I believe.
No, it went the distance, but
Okay.
I won all 3 rounds.
Awesome.
Considering he gave me 3 low blows, but oh well, you know.
So unfortunately, if you would have won that first title fight,
Yes,
to say your direction
yes.
may have been changed.
But we know what it's like. I feel like you live and learn.
Absolutely.
And I felt like the second fight needed to happen to make me grow.
Yeah.
You know.
And so here's another thing that you guys probably don't know. He originally competed at 205 pounds, and he's a big guy. I'm 6 foot tall. He towers above me. You're 6 foot.
6'4".
6'4". And what do you walk around now?
240.
240.
240.
And we talk about it. He's one of the few guys I've seen that is that big that can do bar muscle ups like they're nothing. So he is, I tease him and say he should be in the movies, not fighting, because he looks like he's prepared for a villain role or whatever.
Marvel movie.
Marvel movie.
Oh,
24/7. He doesn't have to diet to get in that kind of shape. He wakes up in that kind of shape. So
Born ready.
Already. He was born ready. So what we're going to talk about real quick is and the reason my thing is called the candy shop is I deal primarily with the candy morph. This is an albino, and this is a spot nose leopard albino. So it is kind of a fancy albino, but it's an albino. So see where a normal ball python Linton is black, this one is white. And when you have an albino, you have a lack of melanin, and melanin is the pigment that's responsible for making black. So when you have no melanin, you just basically erases all the black. And in addition, any of the pigment that was brown in a normal ball python is now kind of a yellow. So this is an albino. So like the caramel albino like you have and the candy, we're gonna strike. There you go, it was a strike. But you gotta sometimes you gotta take the blows, right? So a candy and the caramel albino are what we call T positive albinos. So the caramel is a form of albinism, but it's a tyrosinase positive. So instead of it taking away all the melanin, it has a different expression. So the melanin, like in the caramel albino, is kind of an orangey brownish. Well, in the candy, the black gets replaced with kind of, we call it a lavender color. And some people say, oh yeah, it really is. So this is a candy gravel ball python. But again, anywhere that this one was white, it's replaced with this. Can you pick it up on the camera? Does it look like it? Okay, and that's my wife operating the camera. This is a very low budget production. Linton, I paid him with lunch.
Sponsored by the candy shop.
The candy shop. The candy shop. Oh, that's okay. So that is spot nose leopard albino. This is a gravel candino. And what I told Linton, I have a couple of crazy projects that I want to do. I would like to make a ball python that looks very red. This is a candino, black pastel, pinstripe, heterozygous for pied. Now you can see, whereas we have this yellow here, compare that how orange we're getting. I figure if I add a couple more genes, and another gene I'm going to add, Linton, is Inchy. I'm going to add Pied. I'm going to make this even oranger or even more red. And you can see how much the variation difference. So that is a black pastel pinstripe Candino het for Pied.
See the orange.
You can see the orange, yeah. So this is, and Linton has a pinstripe. You have a pinstripe pastel. Yeah. This is a pinstripe Candino Pied, and you can again see how orange it is. But again, once I start adding more genes in, my hope is to make a ball python that comes as close to being red as possible. And red's a pigment we don't really have in ball pythons, but again, you can see dark orange. If we close our eyes and pretend, we can pretend it's kind of red.
And why is that? Why is there no red?
So the real answer is like boa constrictors have beautiful reds in them. Blood ball pythons have beautiful reds. Ball pythons, there's never been a ball python that's exhibited red. And some people argue whether it's even possible. And I don't know if you know this, but there was a big hoax. A guy sold ball pythons. He had a red ball python in pictures and videos, but apparently he had painted it. So he sold, the heterozygous animals, which appear normal, to people in the U.S., and he literally made hundreds of thousands of dollars selling fake red ball python. So I want to create real one, painting it. So that's a pinstripe Candino Pied.
This one's a bit nippy. Why is it on the bite everywhere?
So ball pythons are great because they're good pets, but when they're young, they're defensive. They're defensive, and that's kind of a defensive strike. He's not striking to eat; he's just striking, saying, "Get away from me." Yeah. And some young ball pythons are like that, but again, I'll forgive him because he's young and nippy. So these are kind of bigger. So again, this is pinstripe black pastel Candino het for Pied. And Linton's holding the thing. This is one of my favorite candy ball pythons I've made. This is a black pastel leopard Candino, and he's an adult. And what I tell people is most ball pythons, and you know Linton, like your pinstripe, as she gets older, they don't look as good as they did when they're babies.
No, when they're babies, the colors are so much more colorful.
It's like us though, we get better with age.
Right? I definitely know I do. You know, I'm getting better.
Right.
Like
So,
fine wine.
Very few ball pythons get better with age, but this one is a black pastel Candino, and I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but real orange, still very lavender. And it's one reason why I like the candy ball python morph, because they still look good as adults, and I think this is an adult. So here's another one that's, you want to hold that one?
And how old is this one? You said it's an adult?
He's about 2 years of age.
2 years.
And he's actually a proven breeder. Males don't have to be as big because they don't have to lay eggs. This is another one of my favorite morphs. This is a Candino piebald. And so piebald is another recessive gene. So this animal basically has 2 copies of recessive genes. Now you can see how tall Linton is. But it is a Candino piebald. And again, where a normal albino pied would be yellow and white there, the saddles, and we call these saddles in ball pythons, saddles kind of fill in and they're lavender. And again, some people say, it's not really lavender, it's kind of gray, just like a blue dog or blue, but you can see the head looks lavender. Can you pick that up at all? Pick that up kind of?
You can see the colors on the head compared to the rest of the body. Yeah,
and this is a female, she's probably about 700-800 grams. And she, again, they still look great. And that's my other thing. The reason I chose candy versus there's another similar mutation called lavender albino, and they look very similar to the candy. However, as adults, some lavender albinos look kind of okay, and I've never seen a candy ball python that.
And you breed these all yourself, right?
Yeah, these are snakes that I bred, and it's been a hobby that I've been in since 2007. It's 2020 now, so for 13 years, and I'd say a lot of these are accumulation of things I bred over the years. So we have a little romance brewing. He's trying. So,
and how old?
So this is about 2 years old. This is about
when they can
breed. So males can breed when they're very young. I've had males as young as 4 or 5 months breed.
Okay, wow.
Females typically don't breed until they're 2 or 3 years of age. Yeah. They have to be the age and they have to be size. They typically have to be about 1,500 grams or more, but more importantly, in my opinion, is the age. They have to be at least 2 years of age. So, even if you get them big quick, they're not ready.
So a 4-year-old month snake can obviously latch onto a 4 or 5-year-old adult snake. That's
cougar,
crazy.
like a cougar.
Yeah, just like a cougar. That's crazy.
So we were talking a little bit about MMA because this past weekend we watched the Khabib Gaethje fight. What did you think about Khabib's performance?
Yeah, it's another level. Another level. Like,
And did you hear that? I don't know. We didn't talk about that. Did you hear he had some injuries in camp, broken
Yes,
toes?
broken toe.
And he still performed like
Still
that.
before, and again, I feel like that was his best performance.
I agree.
The way what he did to Gaethje, considering Gaethje was such a dangerous force, and what he did and finished him second round with a triangle
From the mount. Made him look like a white belt.
with a broken foot. You
Yeah.
know, you can't write it.
To me, what was impressive about Khabib was, I thought, even though he's not known as a striker, he controlled the
Yeah,
striking.
he did.
He controlled the center of the octagon, and he
pressure.
absolutely the pressure.
The
I think
pressure.
Gaethje felt it.
Yeah, and as we said before, it looked like he got tired, a little bit tired from that
I think
pressure,
so, like
and
an
then set up the
adrenaline
takedown,
down, for sure.
ready for the triangle.
So let's talk real quick about what's next for you. When's your next fight coming up?
Well, I can't say
Okay.
just right now, but it's coming up soon. Contract is signed.
Struck.
She's striking. Oh, I need to work on my deep defense for that. But yeah, fight announcement will be coming soon.
Heavyweight division.
Heavyweight. So
Bellator.
I'll get to announce it
And
very
so
soon. Opponent and the fight day.
your goal in the next 2 years is to become what?
Bellator heavyweight champion of the world.
I think you can do it. And honestly, he's one of the hardest workers in the gym. A guy's never out of shape. I don't think you take time off. Do you?
If need be, like I feel like sometimes
I mean,
overtraining.
you don't take months off.
No, this is about to come out. I'm gonna take months off, a couple of days here and there, but you know, I'm always in the gym.
And that's one thing. Look
There
at
it is.
that. Go.
There we go.
So his pythons are a little bit bigger than my pythons, but genetically, that's what I'm working with. But thank you very much. Really
Yeah,
appreciate it. Thanks for coming out.
Appreciate
All right.
it.
And we're out.